Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. We broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We're going to get you out of here before the top of the hour and give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the Drive-Thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. Deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's meet the cappers first. Then get right to the picks as we don't mess around here on the Drive-Thru. Let's say hello to Wayne. Wayne, what's going on?
What's going on, Tony T? Thanks, started with me. Coming off a decent day. That Rockets game got me though, man. Sure, someone's telling me just to lock the money line, but hey, it is what it is. It happens some games. Small card today, but some quality. Ready to give out some picks with the guys.
Absolutely. Let's say hello to Mills. Mills, what's going on?
Man, what's going on, everybody out there? Ready to give you guys a gang of props today, man. Not a lot of college basketball, but man, I went in on NHL for you guys, so I definitely got some winners for you guys today, so stay tuned.
That's right, and we'll also do it's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's our UFC rundown at the end of the show, so stay tuned at the end of the show as Mills and I go down through that rundown of the UFC card. Let's say hello, Big Al. Big Al, what's happening?
Not much. Another good day yesterday. Went 3-1 now out of the last 21 days. 18 winning days, 2 losing days, 1 split out day. I think it's like 115 and 61, something like that, but or maybe 115 and 62 over the 3 weeks. So we'll just keep it going. And I've got NFL posted at Pick Dogs and college. I've got hockey too. Yeah, NFL hockey and college hoops at Pick Dogs for tonight.
Very good. Let's say hello to Alex. Alex, how's it going?
Good, Tony. Yeah, rocking and rolling. Yesterday, 4-0. Had a little bit of a down streak in my early season college basketball, but now on a big run again. And hopefully we can continue to move forward. We're doing well with the NBA, and even my NFL starting to pick up some steam. So
thanks.
Good time to join me for long-term.
That's right. Get on board, guys. If the long-term pass over at Pick Dogs. Let's get to the games here tonight. We'll start with the standalone here tonight from the NFL divisional contest between the Rams and 49ers. We're starting to see the threes pretty much escape the marketplace. If you're at the South Point, you can still find a 3 right now. That's about the and DK has it there too, but most spots have 2.5. But you should be able to find a 3 somewhere. Total 48.5 in this one. Let's get this one underway here with Big Al.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at the total for the NFL game. Last weekend, the Rams-Bills game was exceptionally high scoring. It totaled 86 points. The Niners-Bears game landed on 51. And the first meeting between these two teams also landed on 51 points. And I think for a lot of people, they might just look at the recent scores in that previous meeting and look to the over in this game. But I'm going to instead look at the under. When you take a look at how competitively priced games have done with point spreads of 3 or less when they're NFC West Division games, they've gone 51 and 24 under the total, and I look for a low-scoring game on this Thursday night.
From Big Al, next up we move on over to Mills.
Yeah, man, in this one, I actually got to go with the points in this one, man. I like the Rams to cover. I think that they're going to be in a competitive game. They're one of those teams to where they don't start off the season hot. They don't start it off good, but they usually end on a good note. And it seems like that's what they're able to do now. Coming off that win over against the Bills, they're definitely going to have the confidence in this one. Player props that I like in this one, though, I'm going to be looking at Princess Nakua to go over 7 receptions. Last game out, he had double digits in there. And then the other thing that I love in this one, my smash spot is George Kittle over 4.5 receptions.
There we go from Mills. Next up, we move on over to Wayne.
Yeah, in this one, I'm going to look to the first half and go ahead and take the Rams money line in the first half. Love the way their offense has been playing. Defense, up and down. They play well in spots. One of the main things I'm looking at is San Fran. They just turn the ball over at a high clip, and they normally turn the ball over in the first half, just giving the Rams more opportunities to come into the half with the lead. Getting plus money with the Rams. I'm going to look the Rams' way in the first half.
First half there from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Alex.
I'm going to apologize about this one. I'm just going to move away from it. I had side sets tonight, so I'll just
pass there from Wayne from Alex. So I'll tell you what I like here in this one. Here, I'll be looking at the Rams here plus the points. 49ers 48 to the spread at home, facing good offensive teams that average 5.65 yards per rush or greater. We know they've dealt with that left tackle out here for this 49ers team. We'll see what the story here is on Kittle. There was some concern about him as well the George, not Kittle, but I'm supposed to say Bosa. Bosa is a concern as well. It's a questionable mark on there. But I'll be here on the Rams in this spot here, looking at this team, LA. 49ers defense over their past 3, giving up 29 points a game. 49ers 1-3 the spread against the division. I'll look at LA here plus the points. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. Move on over to the NBA from this 3-game card tonight. So we'll cover it here for you right now. Let's get underway here. We got Raptors and Heat. Heat going to lay 10, total 224.5. Next up, Kings and Pelicans. Kings 7, total 231.5. And then we've got, I might have went too far. No, I forgot one here. Pistons and Celtics. NBA TV has it. Celtics 11.5, total 225. We get this one underway here with Big Al.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go against the Sacramento Kings off their big blowout win against the Utah Jazz. They won that game 141-97. Now they're a pretty big road favorite at New Orleans, but New Orleans is 43-13 and a push ATS at home when priced from +5 to +9.5 versus an opponent off a straight-up win. So that doesn't bode well for Sacramento. I'm going to just take the home dog Pelicans.
There from Big Al. I'll update you on some of the injuries here. We know Klitman was out for Detroit. You can now add Duran as questionable. Duran looks to me as a late addition here to the injury report. You never like that. It's a wrist issue here with Duran. Jalen Duran here, questionable, late addition with that wrist for Detroit. Boston, Hauser out, Tatum out, and Springer out here. So Boston missing Tatum in this one. Toronto and Miami, we know Barnes will be out for a while. Quickly continues to be out. Larson Richardson out for Miami. The Kings and Pelicans, well, we know Carter and Lyle are out. On the Pelicans side, Alvarado, Green, Hawkins, Ingram, Matkovich, Robinson Earl, and Zion continues to be out. You're updated here on all the games, the injuries from these. So let's go on over to Mills. I thought we had Mills there for a minute. You guys, these phones, man, you got to some way. You might have got a call coming in. That's usually what happens. There we go. We got him back again, Mills. There we go.
Yeah, man. So in this one, man, I got to be looking at the Pelicans, man. Sacramento Kings is my team since they had Jason Williams. Ever since then, I stayed loyal to him. With that being said, the Pelicans is just one of the teams that own us. I don't know what it is. They were our chance to get in the play-in tournament last year. They advanced in there. I think they even swept us last year. No way I'm laying 6.5 with the Kings. With that being said, give me the points with the Pelicans. Player props that you got to get on top. Demonis Sabonis over 19.5 points. Hitting at a 60% clip. Nobody down low to stop him. I actually think this is a good game that he's going to get about 22 points. And then on the other side, man, I actually think DeJounte Murray's going to have a big game. I like him to go over his points, his rebounds, and assists. It's my DeJounte Murray trifecta.
There we go from Mills. All right, next up we move on over to Wayne.
Yeah, that Boston's Pistons. Give me the over. 227.5 when I last looked at it. No Tatum doesn't worry me. It's less ISO ball, more ball movement. Both of these teams are shooting the three very well, especially Detroit shooting the fourth best from the three-pointer on the road. Medium-paced teams, Boston more fast-paced than Detroit, but I definitely think we get the scoring to go over this total. And Boston hasn't been playing much defense, giving up 117 points in their last 3. I'm going to look at the over in that one. Same thing with Sacramento Kings and New Orleans. Total's a little bit higher, 231. I think I'm seeing the 232 at some places as well. No defense from either one of these teams. New Orleans is getting better at offense. Their numbers are starting to go slightly up, and Sacramento's averaging 130 over their last 3. I definitely see this one scooting over the total.
There from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Alex.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Detroit-Boston game. There's a lot of injuries in that game. I think the flow is going to be interrupted. Some key players out for Boston. And, just looking last year, for example, the under was 9-1, which is 90% conversion rate, when the home team was playing its 4th home game in 10 days. Boston is, and the road team is playing their 3rd straight road game. So, I'm going to look at that. Trends do mean something from time to time, and it looks like this one actually means something. So we're going to go on.
There from Alex, tell you what I think about these games. I'm going to look at Detroit plus the points. Detroit on the road, 9th in defensive efficiency, allowing 111 points per 100 possessions. They're second best rebounding team on the road this year. Celtics have failed to cover 9 of 13 at home, mainly because they really haven't tightened up that defense yet. They're allowing over 46% shooting at home, and that's they went deep in the playoffs last year, but at some point I think they'll start to tighten up that defense. Still not there yet. Pistons have covered 8 of 13 on the road. I'll look at Detroit in this spot in that one. Also, let's see. That may be the only one. I'll take the points here with Toronto here. We still doubles in this game. Let me double check to see where we're at in that Miami game. Yes, we are still double digits, and that's where you don't want to bet Miami. They're not very good here. 2-7 to the spread here as a home favorite of 10 or greater points. We look here at the Raptors, 4-1 to the spread on the road after a home game. So when they start a road trip, they really cover games. So I like them in this spot. Also, Miami, not a good shooting team at home, 46% shooting. A lot of stuff going on with Butler behind the scenes. They're looking to trade him. So that's never good. So I'll look here at the Toronto Raptors here, plus the points continuing that cover streak. First road game after a home spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. Turn our attention to this 14-game card here from the NHL. And we'll start here. We'll cover the 7:07 games here in this block. So the games here we're going to cover will be Capitals Blue Jackets. We see Capitals $1.65, total 6.5. Penguins and Canadians. Penguins $1.16, total here 6.5. Red Wings and Flyers $1.18, total 6. Kings and Devils. We've got the Devils $1.56, total of 6. Ducks and Maple Leafs here. We've got the Maple Leafs $4.19, total 6. And we'll stop it right there. And then I promise you we'll get to college hoops after this block, after this the NHL, because I jumped the gun there because I wasn't very excited about this college hoop card anyway. So let's go ahead. Let's get started with Big Al.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. I'm going to take the Devils off back-to-back losses versus the Red Hot Kings that are on a 6-game win streak. The Devils are 22-12 off back-to-back losses, plus 7.9 net games. Kings are 5-10 on the road off 3 or more wins, minus 7.6 net games. So I'll take the cold team versus the hot.
From Big Al. Next up, we move on over to Mills.
Yeah, nothing really too much that caught my eye in that slot. But I would be looking at the Maple Leafs to probably cover on the run line, on puck line. Besides that, I do like the other games that's going to be coming up in the next slot.
Yeah, from Mills on over to Wayne.
Yeah, it's hard for me not to look the Ducks' way. I know they're on the road off a back-to-back, not a very good team, but they win just as they won 5 at home and they won 5 on the road. Toronto has not looked good offensively in their last 3, just struggling to score goals. You give me plus money as a goal and a half. They've had a couple games where they have kept it tight with Toronto. I'm gonna take the Ducks in this spot with the plus the puck.
There we go with the puck line there with on next up we move on over to Alex.
You can cover the Penguins game, correct?
We can cover the Penguins game. Yep, 7:07.
Yeah, that's the one that sort of pinpointed from the day. The Pens have taken the first 2 meetings and in this series versus the Habs, and they've covered the puck line, and they won 5 straight over the Habs, and just complete control here in matchups. Also you have to look at Montreal only covering the puck line in 4 of the last 17 losses this season. I see some puck line value here. Let's be brave. Let's say 1.5 goals, and let's take plus odds. Nice plus odds here, at least plus 200 on this one. See if the lines have changed. Yeah, there are some line changes, but hey, close to plus 200 anyway. So let's take that. Sidney Crosby gets it done tonight, guys.
There we go from Alex. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. This block we're going to cover from 7:37 to 8:37. The games will be in this block. Blackhawks and Islanders. Islanders $1.87, total 5.5. Sharks at the Blues. Blues $1.73, total 6. Predators and Stars. Your Stars $2.05, total of 6. Golden Knights and Jets. Jets $1.18, total 5.5. And we close out this block with the Oilers at the Wild here. This one we've got the Oilers $1.31, total of 6. We get this block started off here with Big Al.
Yeah, I'll look at a couple of these. I'm going to take the Golden Knights as an underdog plus 108 over the Jets. Golden Knights pretty solid over the years. 70-49 plus 21.8 net games versus opponents with a winning record. So I can trust Vegas, in this tough matchup versus the Jets. I'm going to lay the price with the St. Louis Blues The Blues have been really strong at home versus bad teams, versus opponents with losing records at home. They're 30-14 plus 12.9 net games. So I'll lay the $1.73.
Big Al. Next up, we move on over to Mills.
Yeah, man. I gotta look at the Golden Knights tonight and that little spot that I like. The other game that I'll be looking at would be the Oilers, if anything. Still it's the same thing, man. This is in my slot, man. I got 2 games that I'm locked in on out of the whole night. And, hey, it's gonna come at the end.
There we go from Mills. Next up, we move on over to Wayne.
Nothing in this slot, but I can go back the slot to the Washington Columbus. I like the over 6 there. I think we get a push at minimum. I do like the way I've seen Columbus scoring right now, and Washington scoring. They're 7-3 in their last 10 to the over. Columbus 8-2 in their last 10 to the over. Washington's been playing solid defense on the road, but they've also been scoring a lot. I think we have I think we can get the push at the minimum, but I think we can get over the total as this the history of these teams has pushed this one over the total.
From Wayne, next up we move on over to Alex.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Florida Panthers game, Vancouver Canucks. And you know what? I think there's a loss 3 straight to Vancouver. But right now they're in top tier, I'd say, form, near the top of their game, and that means something. It's a dangerous Panthers team. They've won 3 straight. They've won 5 of the last 6 of their last 7 games. And like I said, they've got triple revenge on board here. This is not an easy team to play with. A lot of pride, very strong team, championship team that does not take kindly to those kinds of records. And, no matter what the Canucks have done before, it must be noted that the Canucks are 0-5 as a home dog this season. And Florida has covered 5 of 7 as a road betting favorite. And you know what? I'm really looking for Florida to bring it tonight. I just don't think Vancouver, despite it also being a dangerous hockey team, is going to be ready for what's coming their way, because this is a team that's ready to get some revenge. Triple revenge is another thing.
Yeah, from Alex, let's continue on here with the NHL. We'll close out the NHL with the following games here. This block will have 4 games. Hockey Club Avalanche, we see Avs here, $1.78, total 6.5. Lightning and Flames, Lightning on the road, $1.51, total 6. Panthers at Canucks, Panthers $1.77, total 5.5. We close out here with Bruins at Kraken, Bruins $1.13, total 5.5. We started off with Big Al.
Yeah, the only game I like in this set is a premium play over at Pick Dogs, so folks can go over to Pick Dogs to buy that, but I'll pass here on the drive-thru.
From Big Al, next up we move on over to Mills.
Yeah, man, I'm going to start off with that Tampa Bay game, man. I like the over in that one, man. They were able to score 4 more goals in 5 of their last 9 games played. And also, through the matchup between these two teams, the last 10 games, I want to say Tampa Bay averaged damn near 4 goals per game, and Calgary was putting up 3.6 goals per game. Nikita Kurchev leads the team with 38 points on there. I got to take the over in that spot. And then give me the Avalanche versus the Utah game, man. The goaltending for the Avalanche has been horrible. Their offense has been good, but they have 3 or more games where they scored at least they have 3 or more games where they scored goals in 6 out of their 9 times played. And in that one, I got to take the over. Give me the over on both those games, and then I'm taking both of those teams just to win on the money line, and I'm parlaying them. Something I was doing about a couple of years ago, and it was working then. This year and last year, the Avalanche and Tampa Bay hasn't been the same teams they were prior, but I think this is a game where I can parlay both of them on the money line and get the over in both those games.
From Mills, next up we move on over to Wayne.
Yeah, on that Vancouver, Florida game, I'm on the other side. I hear everything Alex said, but I'm kind of on the other side just because of the opposite reason. Because Vancouver, as he stated, they are a better road team, haven't played good in the home dog spot, but they have played good against Florida. They're just not giving me a reason to fade them in this spot at this price. I'm a price guy. I like the price we're getting on the home team who has clobbered Florida in their last 3 meetings. Not going to go against it. I'm going to take the plus money with Vancouver.
From Wayne, up next, Alex.
Yeah, I'll throw one more in. I went farther ahead last time like I usually do anyway, but backtrack for a second. And I'll go with, the Dallas Stars at minus 1.5 goals. We're getting close to $1.36 when I put this in. The Stars, they've won 4 straight at the American Airlines Center. They've outscored their opponents in those games 19-8. So that's 11 goals. We worked that up to over 2 goals a game. close to almost 3 goals a game over that period of time. They've covered the puck line in 10 of the last 11 home wins. I figure they're going to get another one here, and I like the puck line to go along with it.
There from Alex. All right, we got you through the hockey for tonight. So let's turn our attention over to college hoops, which we skipped over by accident. What we do during this time of the year, we just ask the cappers, give us what you got. When we get into January, early January, then we'll start to go by time blocks. So college hoops, give us what you got. We know it's finals week, so let's get this block underway here with Big Al.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Arkansas State Red Wolves. They just pulled off a huge upset over Memphis over the weekend. They were a 12-point road dog. They won that ball game 85-72. So they actually fall into a momentum system of mine that's 81-41 ATS. Plays on certain home favorites off big upset road wins. I know that Arlington's actually played really well this year, but I'm going to go against Arlington. I'm going to lay the 8.5-9 with Arkansas State.
From Big Al. Next up, we move on over to Mills.
Man, I'm going to be looking at the New Mexico State versus Texas. That guy, Trey Johnson, the guard, man, he's been as advertised, putting up 21 points for him. But I think that's a little bit too many points for them to cover on the road. Christian Cook's been putting up for the Aggies. Robert Carpenter's been good as well. I'm going with the points, man. Give me 21 points for the Aggies on that one. Looking at the Iowa State game, taking on Iowa, I think they're going to be able to cover that point spread. Last time they played, it was 90-65. Both of these teams are fast-paced scoring teams. One team averages 87, the next averages 86. If anything, I think there's going to be points. Give me the over 159 in that game as well.
From Mills, next up we move on over to Wayne.
Yeah, as a Virginia Tech fan, this is just too many points for me to lay with them. This is just not their season. Struggling offensively and defensively. Actually, not only do I like NC&T with the points, but I like them in the first half on the money line. I think this is a very solid price, and they can come into half leading this game with how bad Virginia Tech has played. Even at home, they just haven't been good in no spots this season. Give me Chattanooga over Evansville. I have some solid wins on their record. Don't like what I'm seeing out of Evansville as far as trusting them to score. Both of these defenses are pretty bad, but Chattanooga is definitely the more reliable offense in that one. So we're going to land a point. I'm going to take Chattanooga on the road in that one.
There from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Alex.
Yeah, you know what? This game just screams Chattanooga, doesn't it? So, I mean, look who's playing better basketball. Look who's I guess to the eye is just a better team. But you know what? I'm going to go contrarian. Chattanooga, despite it being a better group than Evansville, are still, we'll just look at it. To me, when I see a line like this, 2 or less, I look at it as a pick 'em. Most games are decided by 2 or more points. Most games, I'm saying, and sometimes it's not worth the extra effort to even worry about the extra points there. Fouls and things of that nature. But anyway, so I'm looking at a market that's telling me that despite of all the eyes on Chattanooga, we're not seeing a lot of line movement, and that sort of alerts me right away. And from a matchup point perspective. The Mocs are less than efficient. We're looking to generate second chance opportunities, which is going to be important here on the road. They rank 318th in offensive rebound percentage, grabbing just 21.8% of the missed field goal conversions. Either they don't have the physicality or they just don't have the oomph, we call it oomph, to sort of, elbow their way into an area where they can grab some rebounds. So, that's not a great thing on the road. And Evansville has played cohesively at home so far this season. And they've averaged 81-plus points per game. I know that a lot of those points have been against lower-tier teams, but that's still 81 points per game at home compared to a horrible run away from home. I look at the ability for Evansville playing at home to really be the difference maker here, and for the Mocs to fail somehow. Evansville has won 34 of their last 7 night games against non-conference opponents at Ford Center, and Chattanooga has lost their last 4 road night games against non-conference opponents. Let's go contrarian. Evansville.
There we go from Alex. Yeah, I'm with you there on the Evansville side here. When you look at this Evansville team, strong in defensive glass, they hit the shot ball well inside. Mocs a very poor three-point shooting team, just 27%. Weak on the offensive glass, and they only hit 41% away from home, giving up 48% shooting on the road. Evansville at home defends very well. Mocs 3-7 to the spread on the road. Purple Aces in this coin flip price of +3 to -3 at home, 5-2 the spread. I'll look at Evansville here in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. As we got you through the sports for today, now it's time for our Parlay Peripheral segment where the cappers give out a parlay. If they want to give out a team player prop, they make the call, maybe a game in the future. We'll start it off with Big Al.
Yeah, two games stand out on this limited card. The Arkansas State Red Wolves in college basketball and the New Jersey Devils in hockey.
There from Big Al. Next up, we move on over to Mills.
All right, I'll give you guys 2 parlays to get paid. We've been hitting it over here. Back-to-back weeks. It's been the running back parlay. Last time I gave it out, it was all 3 running backs, and we hit. In this one, I'm just going with both of them. So I'm going to take Kyren Williams anytime touchdown, and I'm going to take Renato anytime touchdown. Parlay both those. It's probably about plus 215. And then I'm taking Matthew Stafford over 22 completions and Brock Purdy over 20 completions. Parlay both those, and it's plus 250.
There you go from Mills. All right, next up we move on over to Wayne.
Yeah, we'll go with a 3-teamer, one from each sport. We'll go with A&T plus the points, Boston and Detroit over, and we'll take the Oilers money line.
From Wayne, next up over to Alex.
Yeah, let's go with a couple of props. 49ers, Deebo Samuel over 47.5 receiving yards. And we'll go to the other side. We'll go to the Rams, and we'll go Colby Parkinson over 8.5 receiving yards.
From Alex, I'll give you here the Iowa plus the points college hoops, also plus the points with the Pistons, plus the points with the Raptors. All right, we got you the Parlay Peripheral segment. Let's see what the cappers have for sale over at Pick Dogs. We're headed to a big week of action here with the NFL. No buys. All 16 teams in action this week. NBA, college hoops as well, NHL. So let's take a look at what Wayne has for sale over at Pick Dogs. Wayne enjoying a very good NFL year. What do you have for sale?
Yeah, I got 3 plays, all 3 plays in the NBA. Loving this NBA card. Been hot on the NBA. I hit my last 3 NBA play of the days. Looking to hit my 4th in a row. Actually been rolling on my play of the day as well in college basketball. No college basketball for me today. Did want to throw that out there. No college basketball for me today because I am dipping in the ice. I have 3 plays in the ice. So I have a pretty full card for a short slate. You can go over there and get my best bet in each one of those sports, or you can grab my 3-pack. What's the best thing to do is grab something long-term, 3, 7-day, 30-day, so you can get these plays right away, beat the line movement, and let's catch this cash with me.
Yeah, from Wayne, got both Wayne over at Pick Dogs. See what Big Al has going on. You can see the numbers at 8,661 units of profit. All documented over at Pick Dogs. You can verify those numbers. Just go to Big Al's handicapper page. You can see every play there. Big Al, what do you got for sale?
I've got tonight one college basketball, having an awesome college basketball season again. I've got one play in the NFL off a nice 4-0 week in the NFL last week, having a great football season again. And one play in hockey, having a really good hockey season as well. Overall, it's 115 and 61. My last 176 over the last 3 weeks. As I mentioned earlier, 18 winning days, 2 losing days, 1 split out day over the last 21 days. So it's a good time to join, and I'll have NFL coming up on Sunday. I'm going to have 2 plays in the NBA tomorrow, and then tonight, I guess the 2 strongest plays would be the college basketball and the NFL. It's my NFC West game of the year.
Yeah, boy, with Big Al, long-term pass up there. He does have a 1-year all sports pass. You may consider that the way Big Al is running premium plays from entire year from Big Al, including postseason. When you go to his handicap page, make that purchase. Promo code PICK at checkout will knock 15% off. You can see the monster numbers Big Al's put up this year. Let's see what Alex has for sale over at Pick Dogs. Alex, enjoying a great 2024.
Yeah, nothing like Al, bro. I don't want to, it's the end of the year, so I can jinx Al with saying stuff like that. I don't mean anything. I'm sorry.
No, man, the pressure's even bigger, man. Trust me. Trust me.
So NFL Thursday night football. We've got the side. We've got NBA Sharp Money late steam, NBA total, and we have a CBB total, which is college basketball total. And we're going to continue to chase Big Al right to the end. Right to the end.
Right to the end. All right. Yeah. This you do you. Let's see. Big Al's gonna bring it in. Yeah. Big Al's got something to say about this.
It's not a competition. Everyone's just trying to beat the 52.38 to beat the book. It's, we're all on the same team here. No one's trying to chase anyone.
We got multi-cap promotion. You can match up Big Al and Alex.
It's all respect. It's all respect.
Yeah. You can match up Big Al with Alex in a multi-cap promotion, or Big Al with anybody you like on the multi-cap promotion. I have a best bet from the NFL. I happen to be number one NFL units produced this year over at Pick Dogs Premium. So get on board with me on that best bet NFL, or you may pick up that 7-day pass. There's 16 game card from the NFL. That'll cover all my premium plays from the NFL this week. Remember, the promo code PICK at checkout will save that 15% off. You can match me up, multi-cappers. You can match me up with Big Al and Alex or Wayne Mills. You make the call over at Pick Dogs Premium, and don't forget that promo code PICK to save that 15% off. All right, we got you through here the show. Before we transition here over to UFC, as I go 1-on-1 with Mills on this UFC card, want to make note here, Big Al. I know you have an all access plan up there for the big bettors.
Yeah, everyone's actually been very, very happy over the last couple of years. If folks are interested, just text the words Big Al to 702-769-0404. There are a lot of advantages to being an all-access member. One is that you get additional plays that don't go to the regular Pick Dogs clients. In fact, there's one today that was added. You also get all the games rated from 10 stars down through 1 star, so you know which plays are the strongest. And then if there's any other game you want to ask me about, I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it is all access, but it's for people who can bet $1,000 to $10,000 a game. It's not an inexpensive service, but it's well worth it.
That's right, guys. To get on board, if it's within your price range with Big Al, with that text that number there. Just want to mention note here. We have late word here. Jalen Duren out for Detroit. The big man, the rebounder, Duren out for Detroit Pistons tonight here against the Boston Celtics. That's the only update we have for you. It's pretty much that was the only one that was pending, so we got you covered there. All right, that's going to do it here for our major sports coverage. We're going to get to the UFC rundown here, and we're going to let you guys. We're going to let Wayne, Big Al, and Alex go. You guys have a great night, and we'll catch up with you guys later.
Peace.
All right, we'll see you guys. All right, let's go head to head here with Mills as we get ready here for this UFC card here. UFC that main card, Covington versus Buckley. They're going to fight out Tampa Amalie Arena here, December 14th. Here, a main event card, 10 Eastern time. So go ahead and do our rundown here, beginning here from the main card. We go over to the featherweight division. Cub Swanson and Billy Quarantillo here. We see a Quarantillo favorite $1.48. Total sits at 2.5.
All right, so money's coming in on the dog on this one. Billy Quarantillo opened up a -160, -170. He's coming off of a loss in his last time out. I want to say it was against Yusuf Salah. Cub Swanson's a veteran in the sport, older in the game, probably pushing around 40. The value's probably going to be on Cub Swanson to get him at that DraftKings line to where you can get him at +3.5 points. For me, I got a soft spot for Billy Q. He cashed for me once live in person against Alex Hernandez, and the way that I'm liking it, the money's coming down and waiting and lower. I'm going to wait and see if I could get him at like a -130. If so, I'm going to hop in on Billy Q.
Main card on ESPN2, also on the ESPN Plus channel there at 10 Eastern time for the main card. Continue here on the main card. This is your main event in the welterweight division. Colby Covington and Joaquin Buckley, 2S fighters going head-to-head. Buckley 275, total 4.5.
Big levels fighting here, man. Colby Covington fought for the championship belt 3 times. Wasn't able to get it either of those times. Twice against Kamaru Usman, once against Leon Edwards. He's been sitting back on the sidelines. I've got to say this. I don't think the price is right. I think, he does have a shot as the underdog in here. If Buckley was like a -200, -220, sitting around there and closing around there, I think the price would be adjusted accordingly. But when it's all said and done, I do like the favorite in this spot. I do think Joaquin Buckley wins. I can see a late 3rd round or 4th round finish in there. And, give me Joaquin Buckley to win inside the distance.
All right, continuing here on our rundown here for the UFC here. On Thursday, we move over to light heavyweight bout, Brazil versus U.S. Victor Petrino and Dustin Jacoby head-to-head. Petrino here, the Brazilian, 339, total 1.5.
Looking at the over in here, I'll say the over 1.5 is a definitely good way to play it. If you guys want some more, all right. So on here, I gotta go with the dog, man. Give me the dog, man. I think Dustin Jacoby's live in this spot. Victor Petrino, he's a favorite, but he doesn't cover that 3-1 favorite price tag. He's not a guy out there with explosive power. He only has one knockout in the UFC. He is a guy that implements the takedowns. He has over 14 takedowns in his last 3 fights. He got choked out by Anthony Smith in his last time out. And I think Dustin Jacoby could keep this on the feet and, actually win a decision. So I think the dog is live in there.
There we go, dog live in this one. Let's continue on here. Here on our rundown here from the UFC for this weekend, we move over to light heavyweight bout between Navajo Sterling from New Zealand and Tuko Tokos from England. Here we see Sterling, the big favorite, 775, total 1.5.
Navajo Sterling coming from City Kickboxing. That's Israel Adesanya's camp, okay? Out there in New Zealand and Australia and all that. So the reason why that price tag is on there is because he showed up in the Dana White Contender Series and he won inside the distance. But for the people that don't watch that, they're just going to see a knockout and think that he was winning that whole fight. No, he was a big favorite in there and he was losing that whole fight. So everybody had parlays was looking at their screen. Then he came back and won by KO. And now everybody's acting like that just didn't happen. Opened up as a minus 500 favorite. He's up to a minus 775 like a BMW logo. I don't think I can get to him and parlay him in this spot. I do like the fight not to go the distance.
There we go from Mills. All right, next up, we'll continue here as we move over to the bantamweight division in the main card here on ESPN2. Adrian Yanez, U.S. against Daniel Marcos from Peru. We got the Peruvian Marcos favorite here, 213, total 2.5.
Man, this is a good one. Potential fight of the night. Matter of fact, I'm calling it. It's probably going to be fight of the night. Both these guys are probably going to get 50 G's for showing up. But talk about the line switch. Daniel Marcos opened up the underdog plus 130. Now he's all the way up to a minus 210 favorite. I was able to see him at that spot at that minus 155 on Pinnacle a couple of weeks ago. Glad I hopped in. Seeing where he's at now, whew, wow. But I got to give the guy his credit, man. Adrian Yanez is one of the best underdogs on this card, man. His boxing is top tier. The only thing is his chin is questionable. There's a lot of people betting him on as an underdog. I'll tell you like this. The pick is Marcos. If you guys are looking for a good underdog, Adrian Yanez is one.
From Mills, let's continue here on the main card. Wrapping up the main card here. As we move over to the flyweight division from Angola, we got Manel Capé against Bruno Silva, Brazil. We said Capé here, favorite 369, total 2.5.
All right, man. So Manel Cape's going to be definitely the favorite warranted in this spot. He's coming off a loss in his last fight out against Muhammad Makayev, but he's a guy that they've been pushing for him to fight for that title belt. He came into the UFC from the Risen promotion and lost his first 2 fights. He left a bad taste in my mouth because I've seen him fight before in that other promotion. How he fights in the UFC is nothing like it. All right, man. I did about 5 podcasts by now, man, so it's Thursday. And I was telling everybody Manel Cape, this is the only time I can set it straight. It don't sit right with me, man. Give me Bruno Silva in here, man. Like, I've been telling everybody, yes, Manel Cape, he should win. He's going to win. And I even told people, man, it just don't fit right with me. So now is my chance to clear my soul. Give me Bruno Silva in here, man.
There we go from Mills. Continuing here on the drive-thru with our UFC rundown on Thursday. Now we move on over to the prelims here on prelims on ESPN Plus, lightweight division here, as we got Jose Alvarez from Spain against Jokar Close here from the U.S. We've got the Spanish fighter Alvarez, 469, total 1.5.
All right, so we could attack this a couple of ways on here. Let's first talk about the fight and the distance. All right, I like the over 1.5. All that, I still like the fight not to go the distance, though. So I think there's 2 ways that you guys could actually play it in there, still come out on top. Joel Alvarez is a big favorite, but I bet on him a lot of times before, but never at this big of a price tag before, man. I do think that he does have the more finish upside and finish ability, but Jokar Close, just like his last name, Tony, he keeps them fights close. So I would say, the value is going to be on Close in this spot, but me, I got to stick with the guys that won money for me before. He only lost for me once, so give me Joel Alvarez to win.
Yeah, from Mills, let's continue here on our rundown here as we look at the prelims here on ESPN News here. We're going to go into the Grant Tavares fight here. Let's take a look here. It's the bantamweight division here. Davy Grant here from England against Ramon Tavares from U.S. We got this one close here. Grant, $1.10, total 2.5.
Yeah, man. So this is one that I like to just play the trend on. And it's been working at a 70% clip. Or else I like to just tell you guys about it. And y'all could do what y'all want with it. Davy Grant opened up a plus 120 underdog. Now he's the warranted favorite, minus 115 on some books out there. Usually when that's been happening this year in UFC and Dana White Contender Series, it's been hitting at like a 73% clip that whoever ends the favorite wins the fight. I think David Grant's going to be able to get the one in here, man. He's a veteran that's been robbed a couple of times when it got to the scorecards. Ramon Tavares is a guy that only stepped up at the Dana White Contender Series, and he's been knocked out 2 out of his last 4 fights in here. Give me David Grant to go ahead and get the job done.
From Mills, let's continue here on the rundown here as we continue looking here at the prelims. We go into the ESPN News prelims or ESPN Plus, you name it here. Let's see, I don't see this one here on my Lima and John's. Trying to look for this one here on what we do got here. Featherweight division here. Miles Johns, U.S. against Felipe Lima from Brazil. We got the Brazilian fighter Lima here, favorite 233.
Yeah, man, this is one of the favorite fighters I like to bet on, Miles Johns. And when this fight got announced, man, this was the first fight that I said, I'm probably not going to be betting on Miles Johns. This Lima kid is dangerous, man. He came from a different promotion, Octagon. And when he goes in there, I think he's going to be a dark horse in the division. He's already 1-0 in the UFC. All that, though. I've been betting on Miles Johns since he was a minus 130, minus 140, maybe up to a minus 160 favorite. And I'm not going to bet on him now as a plus 200 underdog. Man, I had to check myself. Of course I am. Man, give me Miles Johns in here. The thing is this. I do think Felipe Lima is going to give him the more. One of the biggest step-ups that he had, pretty much. He was going to be fighting Cody Garbrandt. Instead of fighting him, he has a big step up in Felipe Lima. But I still got to go with Miles Johns in here. I think that he can get the wrestling, implement the takedowns, and he's going to be the way more powerful striker on the feet.
All right, from Mills, continue here on the prelims for Saturday night in Tampa as we take a look here. Moving on here on the card. Let's see what we got in this one here. We got Johnson and Aziatar. Let's see what we got him here on my card here. Do I see this one on there? No, I don't see it on here. What do you got for us? Oh, we do. Yeah, it's a lightweight belt here. Light heavyweight belt. U.S. fighter Michael Johnson here against Otman Aziatar from Morocco. Moroccan fighter, 217, total 1.5.
Man, we going with fight not going the distance in this one. Michael Johnson is one of the more chiniest, not trustworthy fighters that you guys know about. He's winning the fight all the way up until that one moment till he's not, and then he's just night on the floor. Opened up at a minus 180. Money's coming in. He's up to a minus 220. He's fighting in his backyard of Florida. This is going to be in Tampa Bay. I do think he's the better fighter. Otman Aziatar doesn't really step into the cage too many times. But with all that, both these guys can throw, and it's going to be an explosive fight. I wouldn't trust Michael Johnson at minus 180. I wouldn't even damn near trust him at minus 150. So yeah, man, give me fight not going the distance.
Fight to not go distance from Mills. Continue here on our rundown here from the UFC as we're taking a look here at the get to the women's division, the strawweight division. ESPN News prelim has Josephine Knudsen here from Sweden against Pierre Rodriguez from Venezuela. We got Knudsen, the Swedish fighter, 240, total 2.5.
All right, so this is how we cut down that minus 240 and get it to a nice little playable price tag. All over 3 fights, she's been able to win by decision. In this fight, they got it going the distance at a minus 510 over 2.5, and it's going the distance at like a minus 475. I think Josephine Knudsen's going to be able to keep this on the feet, strike her up, and win by decision. So let's go ahead and cut down that price tag and take Knudsen to win by decision. From
Mills, let's continue here on the rundown as we continue on the ESPN News prelims. We go to the featherweight division here with Sean Woodson against Fernando Padilla from Mexico. U.S. versus Mexico here. U.S. fighter favorite, $1.51 Woodson, total 2.5.
Yeah, so this is going to be another good fight, potential fight of the night, man. And good thing I'm on this podcast, man, because, yeah, man, sometimes you change, over time and stuff. And, all right, man, I got interviews with Fernando Padilla. He's one of the guys. I got Sean Woodson in my phone contact. I made a comment on Padilla's post about Sub City. Woodson liked it. This man, I've been going back and forth. I think Woodson wins though, man. I think that he is going to have that slick boxing, keep it on the feet, and be able to just keep the range and keep the distance out here. But then again, I started thinking about the upside on Padilla as of late, and the money's been coming in on him, man. Man, give me Padilla to win in this one, man. I think he's going to be able to win inside the distance, man. Sometimes you change your mind.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. All right, continuing here on the on our show here, on the rundown here from the UFC here. We've got Maverick and Horth here. Let me see if I can find this on my card. Was this one of those late edition fights here, Mills?
Yeah, this was late added on it, man. And, you got the big favorite in Miranda Maverick as a minus 615. And she opened up at like a minus 450. Jamie Lynn Horst, she's taking this fight on short notice. She just fought, I want to say 6 weeks ago. Miranda Maverick, it seems like she can't get anybody to fight her in the higher ranking to actually get her career in the right trajectory. Shout out to Miranda Maverick, by the way, man. If you guys want to see a good interview, just type in MMA Locker Room interview with Miranda Maverick. All that to say this, you know what it is. There's 3 G's in life. Stick to your guys and girls, your gut, and your guns. I'm sticking with Miranda Maverick to get it done. I think she actually can win inside the distance with some vicious ground and pound later on in the fight.
Boy, does she look good, man. I gotta tell you, she could be a poster girl, man, for the UFC. Let me tell you, man. I hope they're praying that she moves up to the top rank, the main event fighter, because man, she looks good. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, there from Mills here on the UFC rundown. We got you through the rundown here from the UFC. Mills, your overall thoughts on this fight card?
All right, so it's the last fight card of the year, and I think it's actually going to be one that nobody really remembers, man. And they do it like that for the reason. They had a big pay-per-view event back in the day when they had Ronda Rousey, and it was right on New Year's Eve. And I think nobody watched it, nobody remembered that Ronda Rousey, I think, even lost in that fight or something. But so they kind of do that, they just had that big pay-per-view event last week with Alexander Pantoja. They had John Jones before that, and then Tony. They got UFC 312 happening at the Clippers Arena out here in January 16th or 18th. So there, and that card is stacked.
Oh, yes. Mills, get yourself a press credential. If you need help, I know how to get in these places. So I have to get in there.
Man, I'm going to reach out.
Yep. I used to get into the Clipper games back in the day. Yep. I wonder what the wall will look like for that fight.
Yeah, they asked Dana White, hey, do you plan on using any of the effects or anything like that we got? They got the spear and they were able to do some cool stuff with that, the UFC. So I imagine they're going to do something with this arena. It's the reason why they picked this arena. They said over the Staples Center and over coming to Anaheim. And, it's brand new, Tony. It reminds me of kind of like the Dallas Stadium. When they first got it, they did everything there. The Arizona Cardinals Stadium, that was the first indoor stadium, I think, in the West Coast or something. They did a lot of events there just for anything, so, yeah.
I got to say, though, that in Southern California, the home for UFC is Anaheim. That is the home. No doubt about that.
On the center.
Yep. There you go. So, but we'll see. Maybe LA. We'll see what rolls there in LA with this. With this new arena, should be an exciting card. Mills got you through it. All right, Mills. Let everybody know over at Pick Dogs, you are content contributor over at Pick Dogs, also a member of the media out there. So let them know what they can find over at the Pick Dogs YouTube channel, because I know you're caught up with the UFC fights as well as the props as well.
Yeah, man. UFC Bet With Me series. We just dropped it yesterday. Last week, we killed it on our predictions. We went 11-3 on there, Definitely gave out a lot of winners in there. And then if you guys want some more, video predictions and picks, I got an exclusive video on Tony's picks to where we go over all the fights that's going to finish and go the distance, too. So if you guys want more ways to get paid, check that out. And then I got the prop shop videos dropping daily over here. I went over all the props for you guys today, and
there you go. That was Mills. Unfortunately, your audio cut out a little bit there, Mills. You there?
All right, my bad. I had a phone call.
There you go. All right, Mills. Very good. So, guys, check out Mills over at Pick Dog's YouTube channel. Lots of great content over there. Prop Shop. He's got his UFC picks as well up there, so make sure you check it out. All right, that's going to do it for the show. We're back tomorrow here on the Drive-Thru live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we go, Mills, you got anything in closing before we go?
Yeah, man. Hey, look, man. It's Christmas time, so if you guys ain't in a good mood right now, I don't know when you're ever going to be in that good mood. So go ahead and make some good bets out there. And, hey, appreciate everybody out here that's just watching this. And, hey, the last thing I'm going to say is this. The Sacramento Kings are not going to cover that 6.5. Take the Pelicans.
He likes the Pelicans there tonight against his Kings. He knows because he likes the Kings. You got anything for us in the NFL? How the Jags or the Falcons are Monday night? Oh, no.
Man, thanks for bringing that up. I'm actually going there. So I'm actually going to be going to the game this Monday night, to see my Falcons play the Raiders, man. We lost the 4 games, but when we were going to play the Saints 4 weeks ago, I said this then. We're going to lose this game, and then this is going to be where we lose the division. Watch it play out. I'm used to this. So us losing these 4 games, I expected that. Us probably losing to Desmond Ridder as the Raiders quarterback, the quarterback that we drafted and got rid of. Woo.
Oh, no. Can we see Penix? That means Penix may be ready to roll. That'll be ready to roll here next year.
I think so, because the coach said it like this today. He said, hey, in Minnesota, I just wanted Kirk to go out there and complete his thing. I didn't want to take him out the game because it was his former team. But playing against the Raiders, a young team like this, I think if Kirk Cousins doesn't go out there and put up 14 points within that first half, we're going to be seeing number 9 out there.
There you go. They're from Mills. All right, guys, that's going to do it here for this edition of Drive-Thru. Back tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll wake up. Bye, guys. You guys make it a winning night, and we'll catch up with you again here tomorrow here on